Hey guys, this is Steve Wichern. It's Monday, February 3rd, and I just wanted to send this out to you as a follow-up to the training that we had last Sunday. Last Sunday I gave everybody the book, Leading Small Groups with Purpose, and I've asked you guys to begin reading that, processing through it. And through the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be sending you these videos, just kind of highlighting the chapters in the book and doing some continued training on them that you can implement into your group. I really encourage you to watch these and take it into heart and implement the things that you're reading in this book into your group. It can really help change the way your group operates and the way you see your group. Well, the chapter 1 that we started with is all about being a part of God's plan. And Steve Gladens goes into the first part, and he's talking about what got you interested in leading a group and why you're reading this book and just the different aspects of why you might be doing this. Some of them are pretty good. I would encourage you to read those, but one of them is not, that Steve gave you the book and asked you to read it. So I thought he messed that one up, but I did ask you to read this book, but I also think that there's probably a sub-reason why you're reading this book as well. But he goes into a few things of what you need to do as a leader. The first thing you need to do as a leader is you need to trust God. Plain and simple, you're a Christian, you're leading Christians, you need to trust God with the process. Another thing he recommends us to do is to share our weaknesses. People love leaders not for their strength, but because they're vulnerable and they have weaknesses. Many of you know my weaknesses. I'm totally open with them, but share your weaknesses with your group. It's okay to be weak. They like that. I mean, everybody likes knowing that you're not perfect. Another one, you have to develop your empathy quotient. Empathy quotient is, your ability to put yourself in another person's place and to see their things the way that they see them. As you're developing these three things, as you're trusting God, as you're sharing your weakness, and you're developing your empathy quotient, it's going to make you a great leader in the small group. But everybody's going to have to ask 4 questions as they're going about leading a small group. Steve goes into this, Steve Gladens, as the 4 questions of leadership. And those are, who am I? What is really most important? What will I do with my life? And how far will I go? In these, the first one is, who am I? Who are you? Are you a son or daughter of Christ, or are you something else? Of course you're a son or daughter of Christ. Second thing, what's really most important? You have to decide that. Is stuff or our souls more important to you? Process through that. When somebody calls you and they say, I really am having a struggle with this, are you willing to help them out? Third thing, responsibility. What are you going to do with your life? Many of you are working in the secular force, and I believe that is absolutely wonderful. You don't have to be in ministry to use your life to make a purpose. Not at all. David was not in ministry. He was a king. Moses was not in ministry. He was in royalty, and then he killed somebody and went off into the wilderness and was a farmer, and then he came back and took everybody out of Egypt. What are you going to do with your life? Perseverance. How far will you go? What's your motivation? How persistent are you? My hope at the end of my life is that I stand before God and He says, well done, good and faithful servant. That's my hope for you as well. As I'm leading you, my hope is that when you're done with this, your perseverance, God will say, well done, good and faithful servant. But Steve then goes into talking about 3 important characteristics of leading a group. You have to lead your group with heart. You have to love what you're doing. You have to show passion. You have to be excited about when they show up to your house. Be excited when they show up to the classroom. Lead with heart. This is who I am. Lead with heart. Lead with compassion. Be compassionate with others. When they're going through a hard time, be compassionate. Weep with them. Be happy with them. Show your compassion. When you're leading with heart and you're showing compassion and you're leading with motivation, where you're saying, I'm doing this because it's motivating to me. I want to get to the end of my life and have Him say, well done, good and faithful servant. That will make your group a wild success. People love it when they can see you for who you are. They love it when you're leading with heart, with compassion and motivation. So process through this chapter and come up with 2 or 3 things that stick out to you and try to implement one of them in your next group meeting or as you're going about prepping for that group meeting. Examine that, put one into practice. Thanks so much.